Hello friends, my name is Kailash and in this video we are going to talk about SUMIFS function in Excel. First we will talk about its definition followed by few examples. So what is SUMIF functions? So you can say it's an enhanced version of SUMIF function which was already available, but it helps you to add more than one conditions. So SUMIF functions in Excel adds a value that meets multiple criteria across different columns. And here is the syntax of how it looks like. The first parameter is the sum range, the column that you want to sum, followed by different criteria. And every criteria has got two parts. One is criteria range, on which column you want to apply the filter, followed by what filter, right? So that way you can create multiple parameters and get the SUMIFs. Now let's look at some of the examples. So here I have a small set of sample sales data. It has got date, region, product, and sales. And what we want is we want the sum of sale, but with different type of conditions. So the first one, total sales of Apple. So if you see here, we have got multiple product, only Apple. So what can be the formula? The formula will start with equals sum ifs, this is the one, right? And sum range, what you want to sum? You want total sales, right? So this is the column that we want to sum, followed by criteria range. Now we want only Apple. And where is the column where the product are there? It is here. So this is our range, followed by criteria. What we want? Apple, right? So since it is a text, it has to be in double quotes, something like this. And then close the bracket, hit enter. We should get the sales of Apple. If we manually sum up, yes, it is matching. Okay. Can you use the SUMIF formula for this also? Answer is yes, because here we are only giving one condition. So SUMIF will also work. But here the second example, total sales of Apple in the East region only. Now we have got two conditions, right? One is Apple, second is East region. So that's where two conditions we have to enter. And how do we do that? Equals to SUMIFs. What we want to sum? Sales. Criteria range 1. Now either you select product or region, doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter, but we have to give both. So let's pick region first. Region, and which region we wanted to sum? East. So East, followed by what is the criteria? Range 2. Product, right? We want only for Apple. So that is the product, comma, the criteria 2 would be Apple. Now you can type it in small also. It is going to work. It is not case sensitive. Okay. So it should work the same way, like hit enter, right? The next scenario, total sales greater than 170. Now what we are saying is greater than means we cannot simply write the condition. We need to put a greater than sign also. And how do you do that? Equals to SUMIFs, the sales, and criteria range 1. What we want to sum? Sales only, because there is no mention of Apple or region, products or date, nothing, right? So the criteria range 1 will also be the same, followed by what is the criteria? Greater than 170. And how do you write that? Since it's a greater than sign, you have to put it in double quotes, something like this. Like this. Close the bracket and hit enter. Okay, so what we are doing is, here is the criteria we are giving greater than 170, right? The next one, total sales of bananas less than 220. So again, SUMIFs, then we wanted to sum sales, criteria, one range, bananas, right? So bananas are here and criteria would be banana. And second range would be what we are saying, less than 220. So we are talking about sales. Sales is less than 220, like this, right? Close the bracket and we got it. Next, here we are talking about few dates. So total sales after 7th of January. So we are talking about this one, right? So we should get 330. And how do we do that? Equals to SUMIFS. Sum range would be sales, criteria range. We are talking about dates, so that means this column. And criteria after 7th of January. Now, how do we put it? It is greater than 7th Jan. And how do you write 7th Jan? You can put it in any format. Excel should be able to understand that you are talking about a date. So, for example, like this, it should work. Yes, even if I remove 2025, that should also work, right? Because it's still a date, right? But it is always good practice to give very clear information to Excel that what we are talking about. So follow day, month, and year as well. Okay, next scenario. Total sales between 4th January and 12th January. So how do we do that? SUMIFS, sum ranges, sales, followed by criteria, one range, date. So between we are talking about, which is 4th Jan. So that means first criteria would be the date has to be greater than 4th Jan. Then criteria to range. Now we are talking about the date again, right? 4th to 12th. So same date range. The criteria 2 would be less than 12th. Like this, right? Okay, have a look at the last one also. Total sales of Apple after 5th of January. So we are talking about two conditions, but two different columns. One has product, another is date. So equals to SUMIFS, this one, range is sales, then criteria 1 Apple. So it's product and criteria would be Apple, followed by second range would be date, and we are saying after 5th of January. So criteria would be greater than 5th of January, like this. So it is quite easy to use SUMIFS function. It has got more option as compared to the earlier version of SUMIF. If you want this practice file, you should be able to find that link in the video description. And I'll see you in the next video.